All right, so today and tomorrow, we are going to begin talking about perfect squares and square roots. Okay, so the square of an integer is called a perfect square.
It smells good.
It's like me.
Okay, so we're gonna do things kind of weird.
Whoa.
I know. We are gonna turn to page 3, and it should look like this. Okay, so 1 squared means 1 times 1, which is 1. 2 squared, this little exponent, that 2 squared, means 2 times 2, which is 4. And let me like draw a little picture for us. Okay, so notice how this is 2. I'm sorry, 2 by 2. And how many squares are there?
4.
There are 4. Okay, 2 by 2. Okay, so what's 3 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, how about I draw that cute little picture? If I draw that.
Basketball.
Okay, notice we have a 3 by 3 square. How many squares are inside? 9. All right, so this is what I want you to do. We're gonna fill the rest of this out.
You know, I forgot like half my multiplication stuff.
This is the only day you will get a calculator.
I would calculate it, Brady.
Ryan, catch.
I know.
Yep. For today only.
Oh no, Miss Hogan, you are.
What does that mean?
You're actually a better
You're lucky I'm in a good mood.
Well, my brother told me all this stuff about that. And I was like, oh, no.
Oops, sorry.
It's like this.
One times 1. That's 3 plus 3. 169.
Are we right? You checked it? Go check it.
Are you like for real?
Let's go check it, Jay.
It's fine.
Let's see if I did it right.
What is it? 13 times 13?
Yeah.
You want me to bring a calculator over?
Sure. Just like mental math
Ryan,
stuff.
stop.
It's
What?
169.
Oh my god, I was right. Dude, I'm too good. Footballs.
Oh, you're so
Say
smart.
that. It's better than what you would say. What would I say?
Yeah. You're a hacker.
Cheater.
You're a hacker. You're using a calculator.
Can we do 14?
You said you could.
I'll do 4. Actually, comes home. No.
Oh my god.
There's like 9. 4 times 4 is 16.
Brady, what's 14 squared?
Oh my god, the ears are
196.
so small.
Okay. 15 squared, Trent.
225.
16 squared, Denise. 256.
We were
Right?
actually trying to do our work though.
I appreciate that.
JJ, we're over the top level.
17 squared, Ryan?
2, 8, 9.
Okay, Bennett, 18 squared. Okay. 19 squared is 361 and 20 squared is 400. Okay, these are special numbers. Special numbers that I need you to recognize. Okay, we're gonna need to recognize that 196 is 14 squared.
196.
Is 14 squared.
196 is 14 square.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay,
Ways to memorize these?
kind of, yeah.
No, only 4 of them.
Okay, so go back to page 1.
Page 1.
Okay, page 1. Okay, now, in my opinion, I think you already know these 10.
I don't.
You know that 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. I think that without a calculator, you already know these. Okay? Or can recognize them. Okay? Now, why am I making you have an entire list of perfect squares?
Because you want us to remember
Like right now, because we're gonna work on square roots. Okay, raise your hand if you've heard of a square root.
Oh, I have.
Good, good.
I think so.
The opposite of squaring a number is finding the square root. The opposite of squaring a number is finding a square root. It's this symbol right here. Okay. Okay. So weird. Positive numbers actually have 2 square roots. Okay. What numbers can we square to get 16? Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16. Anything else? A number times itself?
A number 16 times 1.
A number times itself? A number times itself? Like 4 times 4 is a number times itself. What about -4 times -4?
That's negative 16.
No, it's
though.
not.
No, it's
They
not.
cancel
It's
out
two
each
negatives
other.
equal positive.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay.
That one.
So not only is 4 squared 16, but also -4 squared is 16. Okay. So all positive numbers have 2 square roots. Now, negative numbers. Hey, can I multiply a number times itself and get a negative number?
No.
Oh. So negative numbers are not going to have any square roots. Okay. Ryan, what number only has 1 square root?
That's a hard one.
Is this 0?
Ryan, is it 0?
Oh yeah. I know that.
Whoa.
So the square root of 0 is 0.
Yeah.
But like I can say that like 4 squared and -4 squared is 16. We're like, there's no -0.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to page 3. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my cute little picture again. That is probably gonna be wonky, but you're just gonna be okay with it.
Straight line. Oh, no, pretty.
Okay, how many boxes do you see? 4. But when I look at the edges, how many edges are there? 2, okay? The square root of 4 is 2 because 2 squared is 4.
So technically we're just multiplying the 5. Yeah.
Well, like we're thinking of what number squared is 9. So the square root of 9 is 3.
Square root of 16 is 3.
Okay? The square root of 16 is 4. Okay. We know that 5 squared is 25. Brady, back to your seat. So the square root of 25 is 5. 6 squared is 36. So the square root of 36 is 6. So, oh, do you see a relationship between the numbers on the left and right?
Yeah. It's whatever they equal or what they times. Right.
Worry about yourself.
What about yourself? What do you have to do?
Sniffing like a dog. He's like,
Brady, stop while you're ahead. Brady, just stop while you're ahead. This is going to be a very important page for you. You're going to probably need to reference it in the beginning, like today when you do your homework, but eventually you need to know those numbers.
You're screwed.
So like I'm going to give you the square root of 196 without a calculator. You need to remember that that's 14.
How are we not going to be able to use a calculator though?
What?
How are we not going to be able to use a calculator?
Is this just like
I don't know
mental
why.
math and memorizing?
A little bit.
A memory class.
Okay, so let's come back up to page 1. Yay, page 1.
There's 1 and 3.
Okay, so we could have either just the square root of a number to show our positive root, or we could have a negative square root to show us a negative root. Okay, so we could have a positive, we could have a negative, and it'll always like give you whether there's a negative on the outside of it or not. You are right. So if I gave you, so Jada, if I gave you the square root of -4, that does not have an answer. Okay, but this guy has a negative on the outside, that's cool.
So whatever that equals.
Okay. All right, so. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Deep breath, everybody. Ryan, do we have a number when we square it gives us 49? What number is that? Okay, so since 7 squared is 49, the square root of 49 is 7.
We have to write that. Can we spell
If you just write 7, that's fine. Now, some of you like to be visual. I'm also going to write this. The square root of 7 squared. A square root and a square are opposite. So they sort of like cancel each other out. Okay? So the square root and the square kind of like, oh, hey, we're opposite.
What?
Okay?
Opposites? What?
The opposite of squaring a number is finding the square root.
So what do you do if you're squaring?
That was too confusing right there.
Well, I just know it's 7. I think
let's
we're
just
too
stick with
far on
that.
that one.
Went too far on that one. Okay. All right. Bennett, is there a number that when we square it, we get 9? What is that number? So since 3 squared is 9,
Uh-huh.
the square root of 9 is 3. Okay.
Let's just stick with that.
Okay, now. Oh, there's a negative outside. That's fine. Okay, Tyler, what squared gives us 4? So since 2 squared is 4, we know that the square root of 4 is 2, but since there's a negative on the outside, we're just gonna keep the negative on the outside.
Someone's missing the key.
Oh, that's very sad. Thank you.
Shoot up.
All right, you and your elbow partner, I would like you to figure out 4 and 5 together.
Over, right?
Think so?
I won.
Then, how do you do it?
What did I do?
Times and double.
7, 8, 9.
Can you do those? No. Pop off, Jake.
Whoa, Jada, deep breaths.
Oh my god.
We're not gonna worry about that one. That's too big for us. Okay, Quinlan, what did you and Harper get for number 4? Negative 17. We know that 17 squared is 289. Okay. Okay. And so negative radical 289 is negative 17. Okay. Ariana, what did you and Kinley get for number 5? Negative 14. We know that 14 squared is 196. Okay. Very good. All right. Now we're not going to worry about number 6 because we're only going to worry about squares up to 20. Okay. And that one's bigger than that. So let's move to number 7. Oh my gosh, it's a fraction. It's fine. Because guess what? Both of those numbers are perfect squares, the numerator and the denominator. So let's think of it like this. Let's break it up because we're allowed to do this. To the square root of 1 and the square root of 16. Let's think about that separately. We know that 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. So this is going to give us 1/4. Okay, so a number 8. We'll keep the negative, but let's break it up. We have square root of 81 and we'll have square root of 25. Okay, so Ryan is saying that 5 squared is 25. So our denominator is 5. Trent, what's our numerator? 9. But we keep the negative. Okay, write down what you think the answer is for number 9. Bronson, what'd you write down?
I wrote 7/12.
7/12. Jada, do you agree? Love it. Okay. Now, we need to be able to recognize when our numbers are perfect squares and when they are not perfect squares. So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds for you and your elbow partner to circle all of the numbers that are perfect squares.
Whoop. 64.
All right, Arisla, give me one that is. 9 is one, okay. Olivia, give me one that you circled. Good. Corin, give me one that you circled. Ooh, you were sneaky. That's not on our list, but 324 is a perfect square. It's okay if you did not recognize that. You will. Oh yeah, it is. Just kidding. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Okay. One. Good. Harper, give me another one. Denise, is there another one? Is there? Do we get them all?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, these are not perfect squares. We'll talk about what we do tomorrow when we have those under the radical. So this is what I want you to do in front of you. There are these cool little sheet protector things. Grab one, grab an expo marker, and there are 12 problems that I want you to complete. I'll give you a couple minutes and then we will check in together. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay.
Now we're with Corin.
We're a different class.
No, but we just work
How about all three of you? That's totally fine.